Hi there. I am going to give you your session 2 today of the Couch to the Gym program. Just to say, I'm doing this at home because I want to demonstrate how we don't need very much equipment to get this into our routine and get ourselves to a point where we're moving and then feeling more confident about that moving. I've put down a yoga mat. This yoga mat is a fold-up yoga mat, which I think we got from Argos, and it's really handy in terms of storage. And I find it much easier to store it, and it's out of the way rather than kind of those tall roll-up mats. And then I've chosen something that I need to press today. So I need something that feels like heavy enough, that's a little bit challenging for an overhead press. And the other two movements we don't need any equipment for. So first movement is just heel raises. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to stand with my feet underneath my hips. And from there, I'm going to come up onto the balls of my foot. I'm going to try and go for a little bit of control at the top. So I'm going to take a split second. If I need to hold on to something to get started, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to do my heel raise. And then I'm going to challenge myself to let go maybe one finger. And then as I feel more secure, I'm going to go up with no fingers. So that's movement 1. You can do that 10 to 12 times and repeat it 3 times. You can mix the movements up and repeat them, or you can do one, have a rest, then do the same thing again for 10 to 12 reps, then rest, and then do the same thing again. The next movement I've chosen, it's a speaker. It's got a little bit of weight to it. It could be a bottle of wine. It could be a carton of milk. It could be anything. Just have a look around the house and see what you've got that's a little bit, got a little bit of weight that suits you. And again, we're going to stick with this 10 to 12 reps during this, just so your body starts to get used to the movements. But this is just going to be straight overhead. Yeah. Now I'm trying to stack my joints. So I'm trying to make one joint stack on top of the other. Okay, so from here I want to try and get that straight line through the wrist, through the elbow, through the shoulder. Yeah, and I'm going to try and avoid twisting with my body. I've got my glutes tight, so actually I'm doing more work here than just a piece of arm work. I'm holding my core and I'm doing my breath work as well, which we'll talk about at another time. So you're going to go for 10 to 12 on one side, 10 to 12 on the other. You'd be surprised, even if the weight is not super heavy, you'd be surprised at the mobility and the strength and the work, flexibility work that you're doing in that shoulder joint, just because this is not a place that we are in a lot of the time. So really good to get that movement up overhead. Okay. So same thing again, 10 to 12 reps, 3 times. I tend to mix things up. So I'll do my first movement, which is the heel raises. Then I'll do my second movement, which is the press. And then I'll do my third movement, which is going to be a high plank. Okay. So I'm looking for stability in this position. So again, I'm going to stack my shoulder over my elbow, over my wrist. I'm going to keep my bum quite high. I'm going to tuck my tailbone under. So I'm here. I do that to the side just to give you a look. Here. Tucking my tailbone under and pushing up to the sky with my spine. Pushing up to the sky with my spine and tucking my tailbone under. So I'm not here, but I'm here. Yeah. And you can hold that for, this really depends on you as an individual. So anywhere between, 5 seconds, if that's really difficult, do that 3 times or 4 times. If you're doing okay and this is relatively easy for you, you can go for that 10 to 20 seconds. Basically, you'll get to a point where you're shaking, and that's what you want. Your muscles are working for stability if they're shaking and searching. And in your first few sessions, you'll find that's happening more and more because your body is kind of saying, what are you doing? What is this? So enjoy, repeat 3 times if you can. And if you can repeat the session for a couple of days in a row, that's even better.